heat capacity of a system. In let's see, in thermodynamics, the next topic to be seen is heat capacity. See, how is it defined? See, this is defined as the quantity of heat energy required to increase the temperature of 1 mole of a system. 1 mole of a system through 1 degree. Means that may be in any scale. Difference is 1 degree, maybe in Celsius or Kelvin, whatever it may be, variation is 1 degree. So that is called heat capacity of a system. For example, consider a system containing n moles of a gas. When Q amount of heat energy is given to this system, say it's a change in its temperature, or its temperature is increased by delta T. Then by definition, now let's see. See, when delta T, to increase the temperature by delta T, the heat energy required is Q. By definition, we have to calculate for 1 degree. This is, remember that this is for n moles of system. For 1 degree, what is the amount? Q by delta T. And this is for n moles. But for 1 mole of a system, now see, this can be written as, see, this is 1 minute. For n moles, heat required is Q by delta T. For 1 mole, how much? Q by n delta T. See, this is nothing but heat capacity by definition. See, heat capacity of a system is given by Q by n delta T, where Q is the amount of heat energy given to a system containing n moles and increase in temperature is delta T. Okay. Now let's see heat capacity C under different conditions. What's the formula? C is equal to Q by n delta T for n moles. For 1 mole, okay, we will see, you can put n is equal to 1. See, under different conditions, Q value depends on different conditions. See, it is a path function. Now see, at constant volume, C is denoted as CV and Q is QB, which is shown in the previous videos as delta U. Therefore, at constant, normally Q is a path function, but at constant volume it is equal to delta U. What is delta U? State function. So Q becomes as a state function at constant volume. So remember this. This is also one important point to remember. Now, how do you write? See, CV is equal to QV by n delta T, or that is equal to delta U by n delta T. Similarly, at constant pressure, see, you can write Cp, C is equal to Cp, and this is Qp by N delta T or delta H by N delta T. Because at Qp is equal to delta H, I have shown this relation in the previous videos, video on internal energy and video on enthalpy. I have derived that relation, you can check them. Okay, now see, so these are the formulas to calculate Cp and Cv. Or see this, for small changes, see, for very small changes, you can write Cv is equal to du by N dt and Cp is equal to dH by N dt. Okay. Now let's see the relation between Cp and Cv. Relation between Cp and Cv. See, we know that H is equal to U plus PV. H is equal to U plus PV. Or you can write this as dH is equal to du plus C. Or see, for the sake of convenience, let's change this. For 1 mole, for 1 mole of a system, that is N is equal to 1, PV is equal to RT. From this, H is equal to U plus RT. Because I have converted this into temperature terms, Cv is expressed with respect to temperature. See, now you can write, differentiate this with respect to temperature, dH by dt is equal to du by dt plus R. Or dH by dt, for if you put N is equal to 1, dH by dt is equal to Cp. That is equal to du by dt, for N is equal to 1, du by dt is equal to Cv plus or Cp minus Cv is equal to R. This is for 1 mole of a system. This is the relation. And see this. See here, if you look at Poisson's ratio, that is gamma is equal to Cp by Cv. Now to look at the Cp and Cv values. See, these Cp and Cv values depends on, see, temperature, and they are related to degrees of freedom. That is a different topic. I don't want to discuss here. I don't want to lengthen this one. Okay, depends on temperature and also degrees of freedom, translational degrees of freedom, vibrational degrees of freedom, and rotational degrees of freedom of molecules. See, for monoatomic gases, Cv is equal to 3R by 2. 3R by 2. And from that, see, let's write this CV. This is 3R by 2. Therefore, CP is equal to how much? CP minus CV is equal to R. Therefore, CP is equal to CV plus R. So, add some plus R. Add R to this. How much? 5R by 2. From that, gamma is CP by CV. 5 by 3. That is 1.66. For diatomic gases, see, this is 5R by 2 and this one 7R by 2. So therefore it is 7 by 5, 1.4. For triatomic, that too non-linear. If it is linear, value is different. That is related to degrees of freedom. Triatomic and polyatomic gases. This is 6R by 2, nothing but 3R. Therefore, this is 4R. And gamma is 4 by 3, 1.33. So these are applicable at low temperature. At low temperature where vibrational degrees of freedom is not considered. Okay. So these are the CP and CV values and Poisson's ratio. Okay. So for monoatomic gases, it is better to remember 1.66. With the increase of atomicity, gamma value decreases. So that is one more point to remember. See, with the increase of course it is very clear from this table, but see, with the increase of atomicity, what about gamma value? Decreases. So this point is useful while solving problems. Next, one more use of CP and CV values is, see this, calculation of delta H and delta U from CP and CV. See, we know that we have done in this video, CP is equal to what we have written, dH by dt or NDT. CP is equal to dH by NDT, or this can be written as CP is equal to dH by dt for n is equal to 1. Okay, or dH is equal to NCP dt. Okay. Now from that, dH is equal to CP dt, where n is equal to 1. Remember that. If n is different, we have to use this. Okay. See, again there are two cases. If CP is independent of temperature and dependent of temperature. Okay, we have to see two cases. Okay. If CP is independent of temperature, see this case. Now how do you see? Integral dH from H1 to H2 is equal to CP is now constant, it doesn't vary with the temperature. within the temperature limits T1 to T2 dt. Then this is H2 minus H1. This can be written as delta H, and Cp, this is T2 minus T1, or nothing but delta H is equal to Cp delta T. Okay. So this is actually, this is already written, but this formula is applicable. This is for 1 mole. For n moles, NCp delta T. This is for 1 mole. For n moles, this can be written as delta H is equal to NCp delta T. Okay. Now this condition, if Cp varies with temperature, then what to do? See, Cp is equal to A plus Bt plus Ct square plus so on. You can write like that. Now what to do? See this integral H1 to H2 dH is equal to here T1 to T2. Cp is varying with temperature. Now instead of Cp we can write this integral T1 to T2. This is A plus Bt plus Ct square plus so on dt. On integrating this, we get delta H is equal to, see here, A into T2 minus T1 plus, see this is very clear, so the integration of this is very clear for MPC students, mathematical students. See, this is B by 2 T2 square minus T1 square plus C by 3 T2 cubed minus T1 cubed plus so on. See, this is the relation when Cp varies with temperature, and this is the relation when Cp is independent of temperature. Okay, right? In the similar way, we can write the formulas for delta U. See, similarly for delta U, see like this, NCV delta T if Cv is independent of temperature, and delta U is equal to a similar formula, A into T2 minus T1 plus B by 2 T2 square minus T1 square plus C by 3 into T2 cubed minus T1 cubed plus so on. Remember that this is for n is equal to 1, therefore this is also for n is equal to 1. And but here this is for n moles. Okay. So these are the different relations related to Cp and Cv. So in that way we can use these formulas depending upon the data given in the problem. Okay. So this is about heat capacity.